Alright guys, Total War Attila has a brand new massive overhaul mod that if you don't know about yet, you need to try next. The campaign is set during 471 AD. This is a few years after the vanilla events of Total War Attila, where the Western Roman Empire is basically on the brink of collapse and already fragmented into smaller kingdoms. You've got the Eastern Roman Empire, obviously, which are still going, but you've also got surviving smaller remnants of the Romans in Italy, in Britain, and in northern Gaul and Illyria, and they're basically struggling, trying to survive against the onslaught of the invading hordes. So today we're going to check out everything you need to know about Age of Anthemius, all the playable factions, how the campaign is, the balancing, obviously the unit rosters, and how the battles play as well. And by the end, I guarantee you're going to want to get into Attila again and try out this new mod. Before we get started though, guys, if you want to grab your wish-listed games for a fraction of the price, you can save big right now on Instant Gaming, up to 89% off the entire Total War franchise. Plus, huge discounts on the latest and upcoming games. Civilization 7 is already 28% off, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is 19% off, and Paradox strategy hits like Crusader Kings 3 and Hearts of Iron 4 are up to 77% off. Whether it's strategy, action, or the hottest new releases, Instant Gaming has you covered. So don't miss out and use my link below to get the best deals on the market. Now let's get back to the video. Alright guys, so like I said, it is 471 AD and there are 28 playable factions here. So we've got Romanum Occidentis led by Anthemius himself, the main kind of remnant of the Western Roman Empire. You've got the Eastern Roman Empire obviously in the east, probably going to be facing off the Persians and the invading Huns. The Huns, which are still invading, lots of armies coming through, two factions here you can play as. The Persians obviously, which are really powerful in this period, easy initial challenge, which totally makes sense. Regna Foederatus, which is essentially our settled invading factions who have taken over the Western Roman Empire, at least partially, some of them, which is the Salii, the Visigoths in Spain and Gaul, and the Ostrogoths in Dacia. Regna Barbarorum, which is essentially other kind of barbarian tribes that are invading or settled as well. So you've got the invading Alanic hordes, you've got Siacs in the north, Suebos in northern Spain, and of course the Vandals, which have taken over most of the northern Africa, Sicily, Malta, these areas from the Western Roman Empire. You've got more northern factions as well, Danes, etc., 3 of them. We've got Celtic factions in Britain in the north, probably going to go after that Britannic Roman faction in the south there, and Arabs and Africans obviously that are playable as well, still probably being worked on, a bit more work in progress, and Slovenian factions in the east and northeast of the map. So looking close at the campaign itself, the biggest differences here are essentially the start date with the new factions and the diplomatic kind of circumstances. So if you play as Anthemius, for example, I've just removed the fog of war for the purposes of trying to look at how everything is right now in the state of the world here. You've got Anthemius, he's got the defected Romans who have settled in Milan in the north here, so that's going to be the immediate enemy, but he's also at war with the Vandals and the Alans in North Africa, in Sicily, and Sardinia, Corsica. There's the Visigoths, which are not very friendly at all in Spain and Gaul, and you've got Burgundians, who they are struggling against as well. You've got lots of little kind of smaller Germanic and Saxon kind of factions in central Germania and the north, with the Danes, with Utahs and Goths there as well. The Venedi invading factions up here as well. You've got other kind of Roman remnants trying to survive up here. I bet their campaigns are super fun as well, back to back, trying to survive against invading Celts in the north and Germanic factions in the east. These could be really cool. Maybe a very, very cool multiplayer campaign can be done here as well with these two. And then you've got the Eastern Romans, they're struggling with the Persians. Obviously you've got Armenia, which is quite interesting. I wonder if they're going to be playable in the future as well. So yeah, it's a very mixed up campaign map here in terms of what's going on. Lots of little factions in between that can take advantage of the situation. And that's essentially the biggest difference here. Start positions, factions that are playable, who they're going to go up against. The other big difference is family trees. So every faction basically has an overhauled family tree with proper historical accuracy, authenticity, characters, their traits, skills, you know, everything that they've got here. Everything is as historical and authentic as possible from a flavor, from a family, from a start position point of view. That is first and foremost basically complete in the mod so far. Now, to be clear, what that means is things like the technology tree, the building tree, you know, the economy system, culture system, all these kind of mechanics that I haven't mentioned yet, these haven't been touched, essentially. This is an early version of the campaign where the main focus has been setting the foundation of the start positions, the diplomatic circumstances, the playable factions, and the non-playable factions, you know, getting everyone kind of up to speed from a authenticity, historical accuracy point of view in terms of family, positions, all of that, and where things can go from a balancing perspective as well for the AI, essentially, proper kind of realistic expansion, all of that. So that's kind of where the mod is right now on the campaign. Everything else really hasn't been touched just yet. I know that the ambition is to have more unique events and actually a narrative storyline that you can follow as Anthemius, where in terms of like a sort of like an alternate history scenario where as Anthemius you can actually regain more and more territory that was lost, and properly reform the Western Roman Empire, and through that get reforms to your military and unique events that give you certain choices and all of that. So all of that hopefully will come in the future updates and as the mod gets more and more completed. Now, the only other area that has been touched up quite a bit is the unit rosters. The team has actually used a lot of models and textures from Age of Justinian, from Anno Domini team, from other mods and other modders and their work to create and reskin a lot of the faction unit rosters here. And there's going to be a lot more units hopefully added in the near future as well, especially through reforms. I think the ambition here is really to create a kind of DEI campaign experience from a unit roster recruitment and reform perspective in this setting, which would be absolutely amazing. And then so looking at some of these reskinned units here, just to see, you know, the influence of all these other mod teams, what they've been working on, there's some really good stuff on the Roman faction especially. So this is one of the cavalry units. This is the Magister Militum, and you can see, I mean, the armored cavalry, the shield designs, the armor and the plating on the helmets and everything, that's very unique. The capes looking really, really good with these cav units here. Lots of variation, which I really, really like. You've got the infantry units here as well with lots of shield designs. This is the Armigeri Defensores. Lots of really cool helmet designs here. Lots of influence, I would say, from Age of Justinian and the Anno Domini team especially. I mean, this chainmail for sure is from the Anno Domini team. The shield designs look very much inspired, influenced, used from the Age of Justinian team as well. And their work, especially here, for sure, looks really, really good. So this is a lot of the essentially Western Roman units that you're going to have access to. Western Auxilia Palatina, Cornuti Signores, Giovanni Signores. I mean, beautiful looking Roman units here. I love the little pendant on the shoulder as well. That's really, really cool. So yeah, these are the units, essentially reskins that look really good for the Roman units. And then let's have a look at the Vandals as well. I've got them on the other side. So we're just gonna scroll through a little bit, try and get a bit closer to them and get some action going as well to have a look at how this actually balance-wise plays out as well. All right, so here we are. I'm just kind of pushing all of my forces forward so we can get a bit of a fight going here. And let's have a look at the Vandal units as well while we've got them exposed. And yeah, like you can see, lots of reskins for this faction. Very unique models and textures. The cape here, the helmets. Again, the shield designs are very unique to them as well. Lots of very, very cool shield designs for these cav units. Got lots of infantry here as well. Beautiful, beautiful looking units. Pushing forward, I think I've got the dust mod working here as well, which should make things a little bit cinematic. But yes, I've got some charging cavalry on the left. Let's have a look at how this is going. My God, lots of infantry getting slaughtered by the Vandal cavalry, which seems quite thematic and appropriate. But yeah, it's a very good looking mod, I would say. From a unit reskin perspective, the modders have done a really good job of combining Age of Justinian kind of models, textures, and Odomini with others. I mean, there's work from Celticus and I think Fall of the Eagles models as well as being used here, which is really cool. So yeah, really good stuff here from a unit roster, unit visuals perspective. Now, from a balancing perspective, I would say it's still a bit early days as well. Don't expect lots of prolonged, slower paced battles just yet. Cavalry does feel really good. Melee engagements do feel really good as well from a pace, from a defensive perspective. The Romans are definitely struggling against the Vandals here, against their very heavy melee units especially, which I quite like. But you know, they're still very powerful. So basically, you have a decent chance at fighting major battles against the enemies around you, but still struggling and needing to use tactics to get around them as well. So it feels really good, I think, from a balancing perspective so far, but obviously lots more work will get into it in future updates. And that's essentially it for today, guys. So this is Age of Anthemius. It is currently available in the Steam Workshop. I've dropped a link below in the video description. Get in there, check it out. All you need to do is get the main alpha pack and the two models packs for the unit reskins that you've seen here. I've really been enjoying it. I think you'll enjoy it as well. It's still early days, lots of work still to be done, I would say, especially on the campaign side of things, but it's all playable. It looks really good. I think you're gonna love it. So get in there and check it out for yourselves. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below, and let me know what you think about Age of Anthemius down below in the comment section as well. Subscribe to the channel for more mod reviews and spotlights just like this, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.